Okay, before we start, I have to say some words. Thank you to Sirenscape for providing all the music in the background. It's really great. Get it. I'm very good at promoting the thing. The music we're using is some of the custom sets that they have, as well as Epic Journey on YouTube, Travis Savoy, and oh my god, Epic Journey, Travis Savoy, and I will remember what the other one is later, and I will write that down somewhere. All good music, go check that out. And that's all from me. Anybody else have anything to say? Thomas, do you have any things you need to do? No? Alright, so who was on recap for today?
No idea. Hang.
I think it might be Anna.
Could be me.
Oh shit.
Anna?
It's Anna.
This is a good one.
Because I did last time.
Oh
Hey.
god.
Anna, you have 5 minutes. Tops.
Okay. I will put a thing on my phone to count me down. 5 minutes. All right. Okay. No, I need to see the timer. Okay. Yes, good. Okay. So, you know what?
Absolute max.
Okay. Session 132. We are all in Avernus, and we are proceeding into a big vault of all the contracts, just all of them. Loran has helped make such a diversion that we can sneak through as cloud people, thanks to Brian. And you know, he follows his instincts and leads us all. Gets a bit confused at one point, but just figures out that the corridors and stuff are shifting. Anyway, we get a glimpse of the river Styx below us. There seems to be sort of a grate floor, as in like metal grate. We can see the danger below us. Okay, yes, we do. We eventually make it to the door of the vault. There are two, I think, lesser devils outside, and somebody else who seems to be the boss of them, who's very much taken care of the place. And I had internet issues around here, a lot of them, but through invisibility and unseen servant, soul coins were plucked. We eventually got through. We were transformed back into our regular selves when we kind of squeezed through the vault door, made it into the vault. We pick up on Sorella Russ's contract. We get their contract. We hear a big clanging. Okay, that's concerning. We pick up on the contract with Loran. With the Karul, and we go there and we get it, and the clanging is louder. And we pick up on Cass's contract, and Cass picks it out herself because we noticed that picking out the contracts hurts you. And that was actually a big mistake, apparently, because it's contract about her. Alan seems to kind of get a bit of control of her and is like reading out the contract, and the big eyes. She has eyes here, which is still there, by the way. We'll address that, I guess. But unfortunately, the construct hears us, comes to us. We fight the construct. It's very big. In fact, it's so big that it deals poor Brian 72 damage in one hit, and we go, oh shit, we have to get out of here. And Loran and Brian both iterate, yeah, you all have to get out of here, and they both end up using the Pay Knight and do some powerful magic. And it's enough to destroy the construct, but also the whole vault. Everything starts falling. The rest of us manage to kind of get out of the way, but we see that either passed out or dead, Brian and Loran are starting to fall themselves, heading for the Styx. Bluey has to make a snap decision on handy dandy carpet to definitely save one and possibly try and save the other. She goes for Brian first. Barely misses Loran. Neff tries a lasso. It's not long enough. Louis then decides to dive into the sticks and reach for Loran and haul him up. She's temporarily unsure of what's happening because that's what the sticks does. And we're all like, oh shit, Loran is dead. We have to get out of here. Brian's woken up, but we don't tell him yet. Thankfully, Sorelleras has their mansion door. We go in. Brian kind of gets clued in to the fact that Loran is currently not alive, is not well. And then Sorelleras brings us back to the Feywild. In the Feywild, Loran's dad, who is his dad Dehane, is there.
Leander Dehane.
Leander, thank you. Leander is there. My 5 minutes is almost up. Loran is brought back thanks to Sleer. Inside Loran's mansion that Leander made up. And so the child's there, child's safe. Timer went off, but it didn't make a sound. And we're all kind of like, not great. We're all also like, at least he's alive. And there's, yes, hour of Loran being brought back, and then once he is, he and Brian are left alone inside their own mansion. And I think that's where we left off. Okay.
Okay. So, as you are all gathered together in the Dehane estate, inside the mansion that Loran this time was able to conjure.
Leanne.
We'll just backtrack ever so slightly. You see Loran with Ulster tucked into his side, just twitch ever so slightly. His eyelashes flutter, and he breathes a sigh and he turns in to hold Ulster closer. And at this, you see Saraza just kind of silently just fall over Loran's knees and just hold him there with one hand still on the back of Ulster's shirt, just gripping it. Less for support for Ulster now, but more for himself, you think. Leander seems to have a distance to him that he cannot breach. He's staring down at Loran with the ghost of mourning on his face. His eyes are sparkling under the many lights, the many coloured lights of Loran's mansion. And the rest of you, after a moment, assuring yourselves that Ulster is alright and Loran is alive again, quietly file out of the mansion and give them a little space as they need. And Bluey, on your way out, Saraza stops you and says what he said last week, letting you know that he has no ill will, and what happened was not your fault. Ulster, alone now in the mansion, you can hear Loran's heartbeat. And he is alive, though his body seems weak. His eyes remain closed. He's muttering into your hair ever so slightly, just sleepy words.
You said that, so all of Ulster's spell slots are gone, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm assuming he can still use innate magic, like cantrips?
Yep.
Ulster will start growing moss and flowers over himself and Loran in kind of like a protective cocoon. And just holds him closer.
As that grows over the two of you, You just hear Loran mumble, "Swarm. It's warm." And he holds you. Are you just going to rest with him?
Yeah, I think Ulster will probably fall asleep with the ram. Well, as much sleep as he can get.
It is no lie that the rest of you are fairly exhausted. You started this day in Kalkan hours ago. And you finish it now as dusk rises, heralding the night in the Feywild. Or at least the darker part of the day. The rest of you are outside the door of Lawrence Mansion in the Dehane estate. Would you all make me a perception check, please?
18.
18? Leo, what was that?
The natural 20 for 25.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay.
And Blue got a
23.
22. Oh,
22, 23. Okay, so everyone's done pretty decently there. Right. As you kind of stand here, letting the reality of what happened sink in, you do hear or sense. Yeah. You do hear or sense the presence of somebody else in the house. From the arched entryway to the kitchen, you see just a pair of wide brown eyes staring at you all as Nikia hovers on the threshold. And he just blinks. For the first time in a long time, doesn't even seem to be fearful of you.
Neff blinks back.
Is that some kind of code?
No, I was just blinking.
Oh, right. It's a normal bodily function.
Was there a code that you were trying to convey?
No, not particularly. What happened? Why was Loran not with you?
It's kind of a long story.
I made tea.
Shall we sit down for tea in that case?
Spiced jasmine and pearl blossom.
oh,
And he pulls the teapot round
Neff will have some.
and pours a cup for all of you.
thank you.
And the
Can
Cass,
Georgia have
he
some?
takes
That
one.
sounds real good.
Oh, neat. George, you may have some. For you though, George, Cass, when Nakia looks at you, he kind of hesitates and then says, "I'll leave this a little bit empty so you can pour in whatever else you need."
Cass
room at the top.
looks at him with such heartfelt love at that point. She's like, "Oh, thank you so much."
It's really not that deep. I just know. Okay, all right, never mind then. Well, no, we all need. Go on, Bluey. What is it you wish to do?
With that high perception, are all of us still perceiving that Cass has two eyes still under her eyes?
Yeah, and you see that Nikia is kind of fixated on those also. Every time he's talking, even as he's pouring the tea, as he says, "I'll leave some room," it's already spilling over the edges. He's just like, slides it over to you and just sheepishly sits back.
Cass is like, "My eyes are up here." and then it's like, I'm not sure I
No,
like that.
there are many actually, but oh.
If I can I just ask a question? Obviously, I can't tell, but when Cass blinks her eyes, do the other eyes blink, or are they like just staring? Like, are they sort of the same as what type of eyes are they?
They are they are a different shade from yours. They appear to be a very light caramel brown color. But the whites of them are like strained red, as if like they've just been like bawling tears, or they've only opened for well, as if this is the first time they've ever opened. You know that to be true. And you can control your eyes still, clearly. But it does take a little extra effort to make those ones close.
Oh, do I get added perception now?
We'll see. Celia?
Where is Sorelleras at all of this?
Sorelleras, interestingly, you do still see that there is, if you want to go out and look, the doorway to his mansion is still there.
Because rather than going with the group to like greet Nakir, I think she probably would have gone to his mansion, to their mansion instead.
Okay. Either is fine. So you head out the doorway and move over towards the mansion. Just opening the door.
Well, knocking first. It's polite.
Knock first. You knock first, and a moment later it is opened, and Sorelleras is standing there, holding a ceramic bowl filled with guacamole. It's like whipped and piled high, very chunky, full of spices and fruits. No, not fruits, vegetables.
I mean, tomatoes are a fruit.
Avocado?
Ah! Tomato.
Yeah,
Oh
avocados
my God,
actually
they're
are a
both
fruit too.
No, they're both fruit.
Uh,
It's guacamole. It's fruit salad.
it is.
Yummy.
I knew this game would make me feel better. So, as you stand there, they are dipping a cracker into their guacamole and just like holding it. Well, that seemed troubling. Come in.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if you wanted to join the rest of us.
No. I don't think it's my place, honestly. You can tell that they are breathing a little heavily, as if laboured somewhat.
Apologies for not seeing to you sooner. Things were a bit dire.
I understand.
Do you need any
I
aid?
saw it from my own eyes. They put down the bowl and take a seat. You know, they sit up very straight. Their posture is immaculate, but it's slightly lopsided, and you can see they're definitely favoring their left side over their right. And you can tell that there is something like tender in the bones. No flesh wounds that you can see, but they are definitely harmed. Yes. Oh, hang on, there's someone on mine. I'll be right back. I'll just make sure it's.
You're doing the Mario? I don't know what the Mario
Do
is.
the Mario.
but-
Swing your arms from side to side. Something like that.
Mm. Oh. Oh. You know, it means a lot that Sarasa says that Blue is doing, did all right for herself.
Hell yeah.
It's just so much though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just vibing out.
Yeah, you don't want the Saraza that Cass got after Neff died. She's still like traumatized from it.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
A little stone gift.
We fixed it.
Yes.
That was intense.
Cass today is like now very like quite worried about Saraza and just feels guilt every time she sees Neff and him.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I didn't mean to die.
Can I just jump in real quick and say
Yeah.
that you might notice something weird about Ulster. There is a reason for it. It's not just a roleplay decision I'm making. Just wanted to say that. Okay, bye.
One of my friends realized I was struggling and
Oh.
came to bring me weighing scales so that I could weigh my suitcases before they picked up,
Nice.
which is very kind, and it's
Mm.
definitely what I needed to help me organize my mind. So, Slia, do you heal Cerillaras? What do you do when you notice this wound?
May I?
They nod their head slightly. Just, you may.
And she casts heal at well, we keep going up in scale because so it's an 8th level heal, 90.
8. Oh, you guys are strong. You get 90. Okay. You watch as they, just before your
Also,
eyes, their like shoulder pops back into place and they. You'd think, being quite as old as I am, I would be used to that kind of sensation. Not quite yet. Not quite. I'm surprised you have that kind of magic left after, well, everything I assume you saw.
I conserved most of my magic after our experience in the Shadowfell. Only using what was
Wise.
necessary.
It's wise.
And I think we're going to have hopefully a little bit of time for rest before we go on to our next place. Loran needs time.
Well, if you have all the contracts, then I think you might have bought it. Do you have them all?
We have yours, Karul's, and Cass's.
Fairly good haul. All things considered.
Almost
Surprised it was
surprised that
just one of you.
my thoughts exactly. For a moment there, I wasn't sure.
So, it was my impression you were only bringing back 2 contracts. Mine and your friend Cass's.
We took Karul's in case, well, that way there's no way, shouldn't be a way that Alon can bring him back.
So he is dead then. Well and truly.
Yes. Soul fragmenting in a mulched body.
It's quite poetic. Though I never properly made his acquaintance. Not that that was my inclination ever. Though I'm had known of his magical prowess. Perhaps I shouldn't have underestimated you.
Better to
I would have
be
thought you needed a lot more help.
the help you provided was enough. Thank you.
I'm glad it was useful. I burned a face to do it. A face well spent.
Who knows? Maybe that face isn't quite so burned as you think. But probably wiser not to use it outside emergencies.
There will be some that do not know of Lady Adriesta's demise. I'm sure I could paint this as a betrayal of some kind. Perhaps she sold herself to the demons in the Blood War. Regardless, if you have what I need, I would like to claim my prize.
And pass this bag of colding.
I'm not impatient.
Whenever you're ready.
I will wait. Thank you. Now I did slave over this guacamole. Take it to your friends. They might need the sustenance.
Most likely. Thank you.
Do not fret if my door is gone next time you come out. I have some errands to attend to.
Of course.
But I will be back before you wake.
And we should, I believe it's 4 days at least, and then we'll need to go to Eldrelith's watch before we can make our way to Feyways.
Goodness. You're getting quite through those. Eldrelith's watch, Feyways, and then the rest of your lives.
And Melas somewhere in there.
Don't forget the King's Trials, woohoo!
Thought I heard a voice just then. I must be going senile in my old age. Regardless,
Yes.
I
Good
have a
luck with your
feeling you will.
errands.
Thank you. I have a feeling you will find your way to Melas one way or another. They
Thank
seem
you.
to be waiting for you to take your leave.
Yeah. So if they're offering the guac, Slay will take it and head out.
Great. I'm just gonna grab my charger.
It's so kind of them. I love guacamole. I'm sure Bluey
Same.
does too.
Bluey loves guacamole.
I'm gonna have
Okay.
some for my snack.
Ooh.
Why is that not
Sorry.
charging? It is. Okay, cool. Right. Bluey?
Eat.
Mm. You sit down with your cup of tea,
Mm.
and all the while, you just notice that Saraza hasn't taken his eyes off of you. Ooh, no. That was a joke.
Saucy Sizer.
So many love interests. No.
It was all that cake. No, sorry.
No!
Mm.
The music is gone. Oh,
Sorry. So, serious moment. Okay. Okay. Could I do a lovely little insight into Saraza?
mhm. You may.
That's 15.
Okay. He said what he said to you as you left. So, though you might not feel fully convinced of this, you can be fairly certain that he does not blame you for what happened. But regardless, it's almost like you can see it replaying in his eyes over and over as he watches you.
Okay, can I? Because I don't think Blue is equipped right now to kind of like maybe like briefly distract him. So I'm gonna try and make eye contact with Neff and with Cass. Just like
As you kind of mull over this,
yeah.
you make your eye contact, and Saraza silently stands up and just excuses himself. I'll bring some of this tea to Ulster and Loren. Bluey, you look to the others.
If she could say it like quietly, maybe Neff especially. I think he's. Well, I mean, fair enough. Like thinking about it over and over again because it's you know, it just happened. But oh, I, mm, mm, I don't-
Neff will pet Bluey's shoulder. In ambiguous support.
as I'm ambiguously asking for help. Mm, thank you. I mm, like
Likia
she.
pours you more tea.
Okay, and thank you.
You know, whatever you're feeling right now, I have no idea what happened, so just bear that in mind while I say my advice. I'm sure, considering what I know of Saraza and how he was treating you then and what he said to you, you've done nothing that would put yourself in a bad favor with him, whatever the hell happened.
And the hell really did happen.
What's that now?
Hell happened. Figuratively speaking.
I mean, literally. It's more the figurative thing because this could have happened anywhere, and it,
this seems like a lot. I shall go and prepare the horses in case anybody needs a ride. That's a good idea.
Do you want me to help prepare the
Stands
horses?
up. No,
What if I just watch you prepare the horses?
that seems
From a safe distance.
okay.
Yay! Okay.
Just. Okay. And Nakia just like plops out of the room with you in tow. Anyone who has a high insight can tell that they are barely holding back cries, and trying to mask over that with this joyous attitude. But Neff, go along anyway.
I shall do. I shall do as much.
I think Cass would
Leia,
then
you
turn
return around this
to
point.
Chloe, and would like just kind of sit next to her and take her hand, and just say, "I've been where you were, having to make the choice between two of our family. I know how hard it is, and I know nothing I can say will make the decision you made easier or less painful. Just know that I'm here if you want to talk, and that you did all you could."
Thank you. Sorry that you had to make that decision.
You just hear a plop, 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 as for the first time since you've been to the Feywild, outside of the Dehane estate through the windows, you see the shimmering splatters of rainfall.
It smells nice. The rain.
It does.
Beautiful.
Also, Sleia's just kind of like scooted. She's just kind of like. She's not standing in the door. She just kind of scooted over to the side of the door and is just holding the squawk.
Is that
I
guac?
think Cass seeing Slia has like grabbed her hand, pulled her down with her, and has got her blanket out, and has wrapped it around all three of them. It's like, now share that guac.
Quack.
Oh my god. Guac. I think Blue like starts to cry and she's like getting a chip. Good.
As
Sorella
you're all
has made it.
crying into your guacamole. Oh, go on, go.
Sleia just says, Sorella has made it. They'll be back.
Thank you, Dragon. Yeah.
So, as you three are crying into your guacamole, Neff, as you are outside, you feel like the sensation almost of pins and needles as the rain falls on you. It's a warm day, but those drops are cold. And Ulster, as you slowly move from awake to a light slumber, you do hear the door of the mansion click, open, and close again, and footsteps. And you have the sudden sensation and realization that you are not in your bed, and the ground beneath you is not moving. And somehow you've ended up on solid ground. And there is someone pressed up against you who you do not remember lying next to.
I would like to make a general perception check.
Okay.
15.
15. With a 15, you recognize nothing of the room you're in, as, like you said, you've grown moss around you. If you can't recognize the footsteps or the sound of them, the one thing that is familiar to you is the scent of the person beside you. A light smoked lavender.
Ulster is going to sit up very fast as he suddenly realizes he's right next to her, and he's like, and just look towards the footsteps.
You pop out of a cocoon of moss, so it's just up around your neck. You are just a head popping out. And in front of you, you see Saraza Dehane holding 2 cups of tea. And he gives you a look and he sits down. Are we on full name basis now? Ulster Game on Dehane. And he sits down and starts pouring tea.
Also just stares at Saraza and he looks very uncomfortable. He's like, you're not
Something the matter?
you're not mad about the
Well,
party?
what party?
You know Loran's here, right? You know Loran is here, and
Yeah.
is this a good time? I mean, I didn't prepare. I didn't realize that you would be here.
Ulster, you feel just like a shifting beside you as like an arm snakes around your waist.
The color in Ulster's face just rises, and he's like, this is
Saraza says, what would you need to prepare? You've done enough. You need to rest. I think you might gotten your mind muddled a little bit. Party, I suppose the last party we had was Loran's a few weeks ago.
No, it was Ender's party.
What happened yesterday, Ulster?
You were upset. Loran and I tried to talk to you. It was the party. We were on a ship, but I must have. Where am I?
At this point, Saraza has stopped pouring tea, and he looks fairly concerned. And he says, Ulster, do you not remember everything that's happened up until now?
Well, it's happened.
Everything we've done.
There was the 3 months that we were away with Sobek and the tests. There was the siege. But you weren't there.
I'm here now. And I think we might need a little help. And he calls out for someone, a name you don't recognize. And goes to the door. Celia, you hear your name called from the doorway of Loran's mansion.
Yeah. Celia kind of like wipes her face and I'll be right back. She tells like Bluey and Cass and then goes immediately.
Also delicately has been removing Loran's arms, like, this is not proper. You lay there. This is good space.
Ah, okay. As you've been doing that, you feel it sort of snake around almost tighter.
Okay, you could stay there for now. Pat.
He seems to be asleep, so you have that mercifully. Celia, when you enter the room, you see a soft mountain of moss with an Ulster head poking out the top. He looks fairly confused. There is some undrunk tea in front of him, and Saraza leans into you and just says, Ulster doesn't remember anything, not since Ender's party.
Astra. I might need a bit of an explanation. Like,
It's a name I haven't heard in a while.
are you playing jokes on me?
I would never.
Not very nice.
We're not playing jokes on you, Ulster. But we might just need a little time to explain. And it might be a little hard to hear.
Okay, well, also starts taking the moss off this. Can we explain somewhere else that I? Well,
Ulster, as you pull the moss away, you see lying next to you, still covered in the ash and blood and sand of the hells, hair dampened with sweat and eyes closed. Loran, though not quite as you remember him, here his hair is longer, his face is just a little more tired, and on his hand he wears a matching band with you. And you see where his face is pressed against your side and his arms hold you, there are just soft, very soft, light tear tracks.
also kind of like pulls him up a bit closer then. Okay, then I am prepared to listen.
Cyrus looks to you, Sleer. How much can we say?
Don't hide anything.
Cyrus sits down in front of you.
Also, is a bit
Sleer,
stiff
if you're
around Sarazo. He's just like,
No, I remember what you thought of me. And I also remember that I gave you no reason to believe I was anyone other than who you assumed I was. And not the best of men. However, you just have to trust me. And I know that might ring some painful bells. But just please,
If you can't
we've
trust
come so far.
Sarazer, trust me. And I
reasonable amount
trust
of trust.
Sarazer implicitly.
I suppose I could trust Sarazo. I have no reason not to.
We'll start with the most important things, I suppose. We are in my family home, but not quite.
Did Loran decorate
This
it?
is in a way, Loran has powerful magics which can create extra-dimensional spaces of his own design. This is one of those.
Mhm.
You're safe, first and foremost. Sleep. Astra can attest to that, though I think she prefers another name, don't you?
Oh, actually, yeah. Like, Ulster would know her name.
Just wouldn't know that. Oh no, she told him for the first time in the palace in Kalkan, so I don't think he actually would know.
Well, I think that she might have told him after the trials, since he saw
Okay.
her drow heritage before anyone else. And when we became the Siege Sisters, she had to sign her proper name.
You may know her as Slian soon, but I think she does prefer Sleer, maybe, from those closest.
Those closest, yes.
Sleer.
We're in the Feywild. Loran is your husband, Ulster. And I am your brother.
How long since Ender's partied?
A little over 7, 8 months.
Happened very quickly. I don't know if I'm. Did I get hit with something? Could you?
In a way.
Is there someone who could? I don't. Not that I don't. It's not that I don't believe you. It's just I feel like I would know that somehow if I was married to Loran.
Ulster, may I try something?
Of course, Ulster kind of gets up. Remember, Loran is around his waist. Sits back down. If you would mind coming over here.
May I show you something?
Uh-huh. Yes.
She
yes.
kind of like reaches out and kind of like puts her hands out for him to like take.
Mm-hmm.
And if possible, she's going to attempt to lead him over to the sunflower door.
Okay.
Could someone just detangle? He looks at Saraza. If you wouldn't mind holding Loran. He doesn't seem to want to move.
Saraza looks almost pained at that.
Unless you don't want to touch him, I'm not really sure if you ever, if that's suited
not at all.
appropriate.
No, that's not at all what I was thinking. I'll move him for you. And he does delicately move him off you, and you see him almost wince when that last bit of skin contact is broken between the two of you. And
Bring him
Ulster,
back.
in spite of everything, when that warmth is gone, you feel just like a clogging in your throat.
Is he alright?
And Slia, to that, Sarazen nods. He is now.
Okay, Slia, you can show me.
Kind of like leads him over to the door and just attempts to place his hands on it. Like without touching the door herself.
Ulster, you see in front of you this large arched doorway, and it is just covered in flowers, the kind which you know could only bloom beneath the druid's magic. Sunflowers. A flower which, for you, as you have cultivated all the meanings of your flowers over your time in studying as a druid, you know what that means. But you don't know precisely why you're being shown this.
It's a beautiful door. Did
Your
I do that?
son's door. With Loran. Show one. Game one to hang.
My head hurts. It's I believe you. I believe you. But I don't remember. Perhaps
But maybe just feeling that residual contact, that warmth might.
Also,
Bring
kind of looks
something.
between Saraza and Slia, and he looks like he's got a bit of performance anxiety, I think. He's just like,
It's okay.
could I step outside for a moment?
Before you say anything, Ulster, when you look between Slia and Saraza, you notice that Saraza is not as you left him. He is still holding Loran, but Loran is also holding himself up, and he is watching you with wide eyes, bloodshot and tired.
You're okay. Also kind of walks over and just kneels delicately down before him. Can I get you anything? I mean, they have tea.
I think it might be you who needs him. Step outside if you must. You don't feel any obligation to come back if that's what you need.
Slia, you can fix me. Loran, I still. You know how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
We could both go outside.
I don't think I can move just yet.
We could just open the door, let the fresh air in.
If that's what you want.
Fresh air would be good. I think also moves to open the door. Kind of hovers on his ring a little bit as he goes.
Glad you opened that door. Now, Slia, Saraza, get out, please.
Slia's gone.
Saraza seems a little more hesitant. And Loran gives him a look. Go. If you don't mind.
So, Sarah's I can't. What can I do?
So just excuse this. And Saraza pulls you in for a hug.
Also, like flails and then just. Okay, we do hugs. Hugs.
When Saraza closes the door behind him,
Slia's waiting outside the mansion for him.
Loran shakily and very slowly, painfully so almost, stands to his feet, will stare,
I think you should sit down.
and almost falling, he doesn't listen to you, almost falling, stumbles forwards with each step until he is right in front of you.
Also, kind of steadies him.
And he just presses his forehead against yours. You don't remember this. Any of it.
I know you. I care very much about you.
I love you.
Also looks like he's paralyzed for a moment by those words, but I love you too.
At that, he visibly relaxes and just kisses you if you'll allow.
Also, will be surprised at first, but he'll definitely allow it. He'll just gently put his hands in Laran's hair, push it back.
So confused.
Do you need a bed? I know there's moss, but surely a bed would be more
You're
appropriate.
not yourself. Come back. I came back to you. Come back to me.
There's something I don't understand, but there's something wrong, and I'm sure that they can fix it. I'm sorry. I know who you are, though. I know how I feel about you, and I know that Asta is now Slia, and Sarazo is now our friend, and we're married, and we have a child.
And you can be who you really are. You don't have to be like this. You know that the moss bed is preferable to any other kind. That's what you would say.
It does look very comfortable, if a bit damp.
You'd make it yourself, and you would tell everyone how it is far superior to any kind of goose down. And you'd grow a special kind of mushroom that only you could as a pillow.
I can do that. I can make you mushrooms. I can create moss, flowers, anything. I can do that for you. And you look. I don't know what happened, but you don't look well. Maybe if you rest, maybe if I rest, then it will be better.
I died, Ulster.
You know, you're fine now, right? they fixed you. Ulster kind of places his hands on Laran's chest over his heart. They fixed you. Was I there?
Yeah, I'm fine. You almost died too. You would have. I stopped it.
I'm physically, I feel fine. It's you I'm worried about. It's what can I do?
You can sleep by my side, and when you wake up, you can be you again.
I can. I hope so. Yes. I don't want you to. I don't want you to look like that. You look at me. I'm sorry.
I want I know who you are. I know it's you. It's just not the you that it's not the you that helped me survive through all of this.
I'll do my best.
I don't like. I don't like the person you knew as Loran. Much prefer who I've become, even if they're a little bit more insane.
I believe everyone. I believe Slia. I believe Saraza. I believe you. I can, even if it takes time, I could learn. it's not as if I didn't feel for you before. Obviously, a lot of time has passed. Kind of runs his hands through Lauren's longer hair. Oops. I think Emma's frozen.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Enjoy the bird song. Tweet, tweet.
Brian. Ah.
You'll figure out what's going on, I think.
Lauren is in deep thought right now.
Loren's just lost for words. I want more tea, but I really shouldn't drink more tea.
You
I'm a
have
bad influence
decaf.
in this case. I can't answer this.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this opportunity to have a quick loo break.
I will take this opportunity to drink tea.
How much tea have you had, Thomas, since you woke up?
Well, to be fair, I only woke up right before the game, so I've had the equivalent of about half a cup.
Yeah.
This thing is
Civilized.
about a cup and a half, I think, total, and I've had about a third of it. It's about half a cup.
I've had like.
I think I drink about 6 or 7 a day. I think I drink normally how much you're drinking now. We're on like the same tea level. Tea
I've
wavelength.
had some smaller cups and then about 3 of these. Which are
It's the
quite big.
cat mug.
Cat.
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 This is a cute mug. I remember getting this. I was like, I have to.
It is very sweet. I'm so sad because I can't bring all of my mugs to England. So today, what I've been doing is going through all of my stuff and like figuring out what I can bring in my current suitcase because I only have 35 kilos to work with. I can only bring one mug, and I have about
Wow.
12.
That's unfortunate. I bring the Jasmine one.
Yeah, it's my
I knew,
the one I got in Tokyo Disney.
Yeah.
It's just because that one, just it's my soul mug.
You gotta bring that one. You gotta bring your soul mug.
Yeah, it's the mug that I got in Tokyo Disney Sea. I don't think they do it anymore, but it's my very special mug. But then I have other mugs. I have the mug you gave me. I have the beautiful one Georgia gave me with us as witches on it. I have another Jasmine mug, but it's chipped, so I'm not going to bring that.
They can live peacefully at home.
Yeah. I mean, this one is really useful, so my family probably use it because it's very big. So, I also have my Gegege no Kitaro one, which I love. It's got creepy drawings on it.
I wonder which one if I could only bring one, I wonder which one I would bring.
Surprising the calls you make when you're like having to make these decisions. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome.
My Wi-Fi died. Okay. So, also there. After saying what you say to Loran, he seems quietly confused, but willing, at least, to trust you and to let his guard down. And he goes back and lies on the moss.
Can I bring anything or call anyone?
I only need you, Holster.
Do very much though. So I can also kind of holds his hands out, tries to cast. I can't.
Don't
Maybe
try.
maybe I should rest.
You should. Oh, and don't worry about the stone.
Stone.
Purple stone.
You got rid of it.
In a way. It's
Probably
gone
should.
now.
Yeah, you probably should get rid of it. Sorry, I gave that to you.
Please don't let me do this now. It hurts too much.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to.
You asked if there's anything you could do for me. Lie with me here.
I think I can manage that.
You lie down. And the Ran, not quite as close as before, holds a hand in between you. Out in between you.
Also, will take it.
This might all be unfamiliar, but don't pretend you didn't know we were heading this way.
Well,
I know all your secrets. There's nothing you keep from me, Holster.
all of my secrets.
He leans in and whispers a single word in your ear, and I'm going to write it down. Send it to you.
Okay. Okay, oh no, I'm scared. What's Ulster's secret?
Sending. Let me just make sure my Wi-Fi is the right one.
Ulster just nods, holds his hands exactly like this, so then just, yeah, we're gonna sleep. Puts his hand back in Lauren's.
As you have your hands like this, Lauren just ducks underneath them and buries against your chest. I'll sleep like this.
That this is new, but I accept that this is comfortable and nice.
You're funny.
Hilarious.
I love you.
I love you.
Sleer, outside the door. Saraza just stares blankly out ahead of him. And the rest of you hear, except for Neff, because you're outside playing with the horses. The rest of you hear Saraza and Sleer emerge.
Can we see them?
Yeah, they're standing in the open.
Can I insight check them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, if I could also insight Sarah's yet again.
You may.
What is that? 13.
13. It's hard to say what's going on. Saraza looks about as harrowed as he was when he first saw Loran, if not slightly more so. And Bluey, what did you roll?
9.
9. Ah. You feel Sarza looks sad.
That is it. Yeah.
And how does Sleer look?
So yeah, please.
Probably a little bit similar to Cerezer, but maybe like attempting to cover it up a little bit.
Is everything okay?
Everyone's alive.
Everything is fine.
Cass is definitely going to inside check that.
I was gonna say, Sleia just kind of like turns her head over at Cerezer, like, can I have Cerezer roll a deception? Just because, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 10.
It's a 15 over here from my inside.
Perhaps the opposite is true.
Cerezer is getting the side eye from Sleia.
Yeah. What's happened? Tell me. And I'm going to roll persuasion on Sarasa, because if he's just lied to me about how good they are, then Cass is going to be like, no. Oh, nice. Okay, so that is 34.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, 35.
Cass is one of Ulster's best friends. I feel compelled to speak to you about this. No. Sarasa just says everything is fine and that we're all alive. But Ulster seems to have forgotten the last a little bit. Roughly 8 months.
Is this the thing that the sticks does? But he didn't touch.
Sarasa looks at Sleia.
Unless something happened that we didn't see. This shouldn't be. I mean, we can try magic, but I'm not sure that's what's wrong.
I knew it'd be bad. Then Brian found out that I didn't expect this to happen.
I felt like I should have. I know what it's like to lose someone you love that much. And Sarasa just kind of like squints his eyes and just like breathes out a deep sigh. I think it's best we leave them for now, unless you feel particularly compelled. And see how he fares in the morning.
I want to see him, but he needs. This isn't my time. See him. He needs to be around. They need to be a bit too long.
We could take them on You could take them on a picnic.
I was going to say, is there a way to save this guacamole? Some of it for.
Bluey, that's a truly wonderful idea.
It's truly wonderful guac. I mean,
I love Bluey. Sarasa looks at you and just nods. Bluey, speak to Nikia, speak to my father, pick the time, pick the place. Tomorrow, we'll go. Anywhere you like.
Okay. All right. She will stare at a wall for a few minutes and then probably head off to like to. Mm,
In the meantime, Sarasa
yeah.
says,
Mm.
I might retire for the evening. I would recommend the same.
Oh.
Rooms, the house, it's all yours. And
Thank
Sarasa
you.
heads upstairs.
Slaya follows.
I mean, I think Cass has her own room there. She's lived there for a while, so I think Cass is gonna enter her room. I think she'll turn to Bluey though and say, if you don't want to be alone tonight, you're welcome to you can have a little sleepover.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you. I'll go talk to Nikia and Neff, and then Leander, and then your room's like that, and then there, right? That's it.
Yeah, it's the
She
one with
points
all the
vaguely.
pillows and alcohol.
Okay, all right. I'll keep my nose out. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll leave a
Cass.
trail of flowers.
Okay. So, Cass, as you go upstairs and you enter your bedroom, you feel fairly confident that you remember how it looked when you last left it. However, you open the door expecting to find pillows, a small cooling box filled with alcohol, all your favorite flavors and kinds. However, when you enter in, you realize that it is filled with these small boxes, out of which you can see the occasional poof of a pillow, the tassel of a blanket. The alcohol is still there, though partially drunk. And all around the room, you see easels and paints, as this appears to have become, in the time you've been away from this place, a somewhat of an art studio for either Zarina or Leander.
Those little bitches who've taken my room back. You leave for a couple of months. I think Cass would sort of go and look at the paintings and have a look at what they're about.
You see, most of them are landscapes of the surrounding area of Viseros, of the dusk. And then you see a couple which are clearly drawn, if not from reference, but from memory, then they are drawn incredibly well. You see what appears to be Sarazer and Loran, younger than they are now, together, spinning through a lavender field. And the longer you look, Cass, you realize that the pigments are almost swirling on the page, and there is a life and a movement to them. And you get the feeling this might be Zarina's handiwork.
I kind of reach out as if to touch it, but like hesitate at the last minute and then sort of just like give like a little smile.
Push behind.
Go and make a nest of pillows.
Push behind all of this.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Push behind all of the canvases and the easels. You see also a loom and a tapestry weaving frame, which, considering the amount and complexity of the tapestries you see piled up just haphazardly, you can tell that Serena might have mastered one craft and be moving on to another, it seems. So, you make your little nest.
I'm making it a list. But before I kind of settle down, is there sort of like a mirror in this room?
I think you could say there's a mirror, definitely.
I think Cass would go and sort of look at her newly acquired eyes and sort of be like, and her like shaved head, and she's like, okay.
How long do you look for?
And I would say Cass would be looking, I would say she's looking for a while, because while she's doing it, I want to sort of, I don't know if I can cast this on myself, but like detect, or like identify, or like detect magic. I don't know if that works as like, I know it's a ritual spell, so I don't know if it works as like a
Sure.
investigative self thing. But Cass is
Okay.
like a little bit concerned.
You can set up the ritual, definitely. As you're sort of like conducting the preliminary setup of this, you feel your eyes just drooping down to meet the gaze of those below more and more, increasingly frequently. And after about a minute of looking here, I'll need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
23.
23. Cass, with a 23, as you stare into those eyes, you feel yourself just drifting towards the mirror, and you hear a voice speaking as if between your ears. Remember, Cass, won't you? The way you were before all this. You couldn't even hold your own in a fight. Not while everyone else had magic and you had nothing. Don't you remember? Don't you want to feel that again? What did you roll in your wisdom save?
23.
23. You have a chance to respond.
I think Cass would like take a deep breath and say, I'll never return to that.
Won't you now? Alright then. Have a drink for me. See how far you get. And the eyes close ever so slightly.
Did that
then-
voice sound like alarms, or did it sound like did I recognize it?
You definitely did. I'm going to send you a message.
Okay. Cool. All right. I think hearing that and knowing who it sounded like, Cass is gonna go for like the biggest, strongest drink that she has in the room. And at the same time, I think she's going to sort of rip up a pillow, one with like gold and red thread, and try and create a sort of covering the eyes. She doesn't want to hear or see them again.
Right.
So she wants to see if she can kind of create an eye patch for her second eyes while still maintaining that she can see out of her
That's a
original
really
one.
cool. That's a really interesting design, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
like,
you tear a
that
ribbon
one.
from one of the pillows, and just like ignoring the frayed edges, you just kind of like tie it around your head and let the long trains fall behind. And you think that for now you have a fairly decent covering on that. Bluey, you were holding back a little bit before going up to follow. What were you doing in the meantime?
Trying to like think of appropriate locations and like a good time for a
Aw.
little picnic. I mean, I know that like Bluey like really likes the lavender here, so I feel like just somewhere near the estate she's thinking of. But also just the fact that everyone's kind of gone to bed pretty much. She'll
Yeah.
also want to be like, hey Neff, everybody's, yeah, so yes.
Okay.
I think she'll go to Nikira and Neff first. Yeah. The whole season.
Okay.
Nay.
So, you head outside, and heading outside, you do find two of the people mentioned who might be able to assist you with sorting out this picnic you've been tasked to do. I should change the music again, make it a bit more up and cheery.
The picnic.
Wait, I can fix this. Picnic. No, it wasn't quite as intense as I expected.
Siren Escape isn't working for me.
Oh,
Sad.
also, mine actually has frozen a little bit for me, so I'll just make sure.
Mine seems to be okay.
I
Sorry.
thought it changed, but it just went into a lull instead.
It wants me to update the app.
Oh yeah, player app version is old.
Yeah,
Still
mine says that all the
working.
time.
Okay.
Bale Night. Okay. Louis, you head outside and you immediately see two of the people who you had expected to run into the entire time to plan your picnic. You see in the paddock Neff and Nikia preparing and tending to the horses, putting them away for the evening, making sure they are all safe from the rain. And then standing, getting completely drenched from head to toe, heedless of the downpour that's now causing so much urgency in the others. Leander, just standing outside in the gravel.
Hello.
He doesn't respond for a moment, and then it's you. How are things inside?
Seems like no physical dangers to report. Although I think you'd know that, and you'd hope that anyway. Your house is a very safe place. It's anyway. Brian doesn't quite seem himself.
Had not
Sarah's
expected otherwise.
Sarah's thought it might be a good idea to have a sort of little picnic. I mean, like Sorellerus made some really nice guac, and like, if
I think that's a lovely idea.
yeah, do you have a few rugs, or do you have like one really big rug that would be good? And I don't know, does Loran have like a favorite outside eating spot? Like, does he like the sunshine, or does the shade? I
Blue,
mean,
you're
there's that.
just getting, you're fully drenched by this point.
I'm already. It's right. I mean, actually, do you know if it's going to rain tomorrow? Do they have like a?
Bluey, as you speak, you can tell Leander isn't fully there. And he's covered in rain, raindrops just pooling down his cheeks. But rain doesn't make one's eyes quite so red, you think, nor make their chest shudder as much as Leander's is.
If you want, I can talk and help organize. In the morning, just, I mean, yeah.
Do you know how we came to be here? Where we are now?
In the rain, or
He looks at you and he smiles.
Blue is so cute.
Just look up at you and smiles.
oh, is he shorter?
Yeah, he's just a little bit shorter than Sarazer.
How tall?
Sarazer is 6'3".
Okay, right. It's just sort of like,
Chloe and Leander looks up at you. I was a farrier. There was a family business. And Zarina was a seamstress in a way. Repaired clothes, downed socks, anything you can think of. A lot of people around where we grew up, they didn't have the money to buy anything new. More than one item of clothing per person, really. But that's just how it is in some places here. Her work was invaluable and she put so much heart into it. Anything you brought her came back looking good as new. Too good. I got suspicious. I had a feeling she was secretly of some wealthy family and was taking pity on the poor, so I followed her one day, trying to figure out how exactly she was getting these items looking so good. And then I saw her doing magic. Like nothing you've seen. And she showed me how I could too, though not nearly as well as she. She was taller than me then. Smarter, braver. I looked up to her. And even when she got to the point where she could move away if she wanted to, she could leave this place. Offered an apprenticeship in the city. And she stayed. Because otherwise there'd be nobody left to mend the clothes. And then came Sarazer. And after a while, we decided that, well, we could manage it. We could stay here and still make things better. We didn't need to be in the city forever to make things better. We didn't need to leave behind those we grew up around to make a difference. And it worked. It worked for a really long time. Until it didn't. And Loran came. And we knew he was special. And he would do things. God, he would do so well if he just had the opportunity. So how could we stay? Knowing that Saraza was ready to go. And we'd improved the lives of those around us. That little selfishness. We thought we had earned at least that. And we loved our son. We loved them both. And yet, in trying to let them decide their own fates and be free, we led them to pain and suffering. How can I go back? How can I go back to him? Knowing that I wish things could be different. That I wish never taught him magic.
Oh. I mean, the city didn't sound safe. And I think it can kind of seem like, looking back, obviously, I should have seen, doing this was dangerous or, should have been different. But
I know what you're saying.
I mean, I'm not Loran, but here is you and Serena have made something calm. It's well, it can certainly be busy here, but here
Stable might be the word you're looking for.
Blue can't help but point to the horses.
He laughs in spite of himself. Also, Thomas, did you see the message I sent you? Louis, as you point to the stables, kind of like half laughing, you see Neff. Neff, what is your response to hearing what you heard?
What's
How
Nakia
do
doing
you
at the
look?
moment? How do I look? Fabulous. Thank you for asking. I
Nakia is busy with the horses and kind of pushed you away whilst he got them calmed down and
Go
settled in for the
away.
evening.
I think Neff will probably not want to make it obvious that she's kind of eavesdropping.
Louis,
Unless
make me an
she's
insight check.
unless she's approached, I guess.
Okay.
Insight or perception?
Insight, please.
I think that's pretty good.
Ooh.
If I could just have insight on my character sheet and see where it is. 18, yes.
Ooh.
18. Neff. Well, no, Neff.
Can I challenge
Louis,
with a deception?
You can roll me a deception check, Neff, if you wish to.
Okay. This is not gonna go well. It's not very deceptive, but it's a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bluey!
Louis, you can tell that in spite of attempting poorly to act natural, Neff has heard pretty much the whole of the conversation.
Okay. Is Neff in view of Leander or
It's
right.
fairly open.
I mean,
She's a little ways away still. And Leander is angled slightly away from her, but you can see.
I mean, I know it's simple, and it's not a revolutionary idea, but would you be alright coming to the picnic tomorrow?
I would be glad.
Leander jumps and looks back. Karadamanuza.
Hi.
Hello. He kind of just takes a deep breath. Ugh. Regardless of who you are addressing, I would quite like to blee there.
I could bleed with
Be
you.
there.
Please.
It would be an honor. And my pleasure.
Well then. I remember Loran fairly fondly, like the lavender fields near where he got married.
I know.
If not there, then there is, well, the village just past this hot spring.
Neff thinks back to the hot springs adventures they've had.
Would be a little bit more of a lively atmosphere, if that's what you're looking for. If you want something quiet, where you can talk amongst yourselves without being overheard. The lavender fields. Oh, and he likes fried chicken sandwiches. And any drink with mango and spice in it.
Mango spice, chicken sandwich. Lavender fields, I think would be probably best.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, the advantage of people around might be like there are things happening, and if you sort of don't feel like talking, then you can just go, "What are they doing?" Not in a creepy way, but just in like things. But I mean, there's so many of us. I don't know. Like,
That's true.
mm,
You are wise,
do
Bluey. I'll defer to you.
um, what if I asked your other ass? Would you like look to the door if it's there still? I don't like in the visible.
Unfortunately, it is still the same evening, and the door is gone. You
Okay,
did hear
maybe.
from Slayer he had errands to run.
Okay. If it's a field, then they might be more comfortable just existing. Or
I love the way Blue phrases things.
Leander, if it wasn't clear, excuses himself and makes his way back into the house. And as you're discussing this, Nick here just kind of like pulls off a pair of damp leather gloves and approaches you from across the paddock. Just completely soaked through, doesn't seem to mind. You don't want to catch a cold in here. I recommend going inside if you're not used to the weather.
Don't worry, I'm immune to colds.
That seems false.
I have powers.
Yes, you do.
well, I mean, I feel like I'm more used to snow than all this rain. I don't know. At least it's not that cold.
I like frolicking in the rain.
Would you like to frolic?
I would like to frolic. Blue, would you
Okay,
like to
roll me
frolic?
Yeah, but
roll me
I
a
think
frolicking check.
Which
But-
check?
Would you,
Blue's
frolicking. Would
version
you
of
say you're proficient in frolicking?
Blue might like to run or something. I don't know. Oh, that's not good.
Could I?
Dexterity? Pass. If you think you're proficient in frolicking, your proficiency bonus.
Neff is not that dexterous, so I'm gonna say no. Just dex check.
Okay. Yep, 4.
For me.
Oh, natural 20. Maybe she is proficient now.
Okay. Bluey, you see Neff just like dance off lyrically into the rain. She seems to almost be evading the raindrops. She frolics so hard. And you're like, oh yeah, I want to do that too. Take one step, flump, face down in the mud. And the kid's like, no, oh my.
Ah,
Oh no.
You know what? I'll leave you to it. I'm going to head down to the springs to dry off, clean. See you in the morning.
all right. Good night.
Good night, Nick here.
Good night. It looks like he might want to say something to you, Neff, and then holds his tongue and decides against it.
Can I insight check him? Can I tell,
may.
I guess? Okay.
Yeah.
It is not amazing. It's a 12.
12. It's hard to say what it was.
Can I tell that he wanted to say something, though?
Hmm.
I'll run
Much
up
in
to
the
him.
same way any. Okay.
You'll frolic to him.
I see what you're doing. No, it's nothing. I've just been trying to distract myself and. Is Loran okay? Will he be okay? And Allstair too.
I believe so. We've gone through a lot, all of us. And we've made it this far. I have no reason to think otherwise.
Hmm. I might go and stay in Sarah's room tonight.
Okay,
I think he might need someone.
I think that's wise.
Good night. Nikia goes inside.
Stay safe!
There's no reply.
I turn back to Bluey. I think Nakir might need someone.
Will see? Would this start a chain of like Saraza might need someone like Nakir, Nakir might need someone like this person,
That's what I'm
and this
thinking.
person.
Well, maybe they just need each other at the moment.
Blue will do a forward roll in the mud if there's mud.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
You just flop over, head over toe.
This is cold, but it's good.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know how,
we're chill. We're vibing.
yeah. How are you able to frolic? It's so cool.
I don't know. I never knew I had this. I used to do it when I was very little. I used to try to dodge the raindrops, but as I've become bigger, it got harder. But now I'm small again, so I feel like my abilities have been boosted.
As you guys continue frolicking, you can find your way to sleep in your own time. Slia, do you make your way upstairs?
She does. She goes. She went pretty soon after Sarazer, but she leaves the bedroom door open since previously she and Bluey had like shared a room in the past.
Mhm.
So just in case, so that Bluey
Okay.
knows it's an option. And then she just
You
goes.
see the trail of
to sleep.
flowers up to Cass's doorway. Head back to that same room that you and Slian soon. No, you are Slian soon. You and Sinestre had your conversations in. There is nobody here now, but as you lie down in the relative dark, you can almost see shapes in the shadows, as though you expect her to walk out of them. And you find yourself succumbing to sleep. And the rest of you, after your frolicking is done, you've dried off, you find a place to rest. Bluey, do you share a room with Slia?
Well, Blue would probably go to Cass's room, but like she'd say like to Neff, I mean, I'll be sleeping in here tonight. Do you know where? Are you sorted or?
Neff looks to
You
the
see that-
stables.
Neff,
No.
you would see that you're already upstairs, I'd reckon, if Bluey
Okay,
is
okay.
pointing to the door. You would see that Slia's doorway is open.
And she's just completely like tucked under the blanket. Like you can't actually see like any of Slia other than just blanket.
Can I tell from looking? Can I insight check the blanket to see if Slay is still awake?
I think you can just tell from the way the horns just kind of poke out.
She knocks on the door. Or on the frame.
So, yeah.
Would a passive perception of like I guess 15 like would she like wake up because she's out she like
asleep?
cried
Okay.
herself to sleep.
Then Bluey, no. The Neff, I don't think she would be you.
Okay, then Neff would
You.
not disturb the hidden away Slia. I'll be in here, Bluey.
No, I begin sleep.
You too. Did you wipe off all the mud?
Imagine if you tracked mud into the house.
You
Emma,
could stand out in the rain and just wait.
I think Neff
Alright.
would have, Neff would have helped out as well.
I do love your magical color changing jumper.
No, it's not green, it's blue. That's better a bit. Okay, there we go.
I believe you.
She's a chameleon. So,
She's also got red arms.
hang on. They do not look red.
So,
So yeah, I guess I've noticed Cass has
Cass,
both of them.
you kind of stir slightly as Bluey settles beside.
I would say that, yeah, I would say Cass definitely stirs because I think she's like a little on edge and is like kind of she's kind of been listening for a voice as she's been trying to get to sleep. So I think as Bluey comes in, I think she would definitely sort of wake up.
It was frolicking, and Leander was telling a story. So, um, um, yeah, I think
I'm
everyone's
glad it's frolicked.
well. She did it well. I kind of tripped. Um, there's always tomorrow. Yeah.
You determine what type of frolic it is you do. Maybe your frolic was mud swimming.
Well, yeah, it was. Yeah. Mm,
How Emma or DM, how successful was
yeah.
Bluey in ridding herself of mud? Do I like eye her up like this muddy?
She does look, you know what? She looks fairly clean. Fairly clean.
Okay,
Maybe like under the
you did a good
nails,
job.
or like
It's in the
between.
crevices.
Yeah. Mm. Oh, sorry. I'll make sure I won't. Yeah. If there's like a towel.
Fine,
You
it's
can.
fine,
I think
Bluey.
you reach for a towel in the darkness, and you find something that feels like it, and you just kind of like brush off as much as you can, put it back down.
Cass knows exactly what's just happened, and it's just like, cool. we'll face that tomorrow.
You guys settle down, and you all fall asleep, finding yourselves with a long rest.
Yes.
Now, we will take a brief break. So I'll see you back here in a few moments.
Thank you.
See you soon.
boom, we have audio, and we have video again. Hello.
Alright, so you guys find yourselves asleep in the Dehane household. Now,
Oh no.
Ulster, when you rise the next morning, Loran has seemingly drifted a little bit away from you in sleep, though he's not letting go of your hands. And it seems that exhaustion has taken him into a very, very deep slumber, even though, considering how alert you are, you woke up fairly early, I would say.
At least 3 hours has passed, yeah?
Yes.
Ulster is not happy with this distance, and he immediately claws his way back over to Loran. Secures himself.
Ulster, as you do so, you remember the strangest dream you had, where you could remember nothing of the time that had passed. And you remember clearly how you acted and how you were. And when you push against Loran and you hold him, in spite of how deeply he's sleeping, you just hear a as if a sigh of relief. And then just muffled by your hair, is that you?
Also just presses his face into Loran's cheek and just kisses him again and again and again.
I'm so sorry I left you.
Didn't leave me.
Never. I swear it never.
Ulster's crying a little bit now. He just clings.
Loran just lets the tears fall. Sleep more.
Can't sleep. I can't sleep knowing that if I close my eyes I wake up. What if you sleep? I'll watch you.
Also, close your eyes just for a moment for me. Just do it. Please.
Also takes a moment, but he will eventually do it.
You can hear the rain outside, even beyond the mansion door. And you can hear Loran's breath steady and calm as can be expected. And you can hear his heart. I'm still here. I'm not going away just because you're closing your eyes. That would be an awfully fine trick, but
You better
not one I intend to play.
Please don't. Please don't.
I'm not going back there.
Also just folds Loran into his arms, puts his chin atop his head, and just squeezes him. Stay here. Please.
Always. You'll get sick of me before long.
I wouldn't get sick of you even if I had the lifetime of a full Lachey. I can promise you that.
And I'm not leaving again. I won't break that promise. I won't leave you alone here to face the world. No.
I don't want to be here alone.
I don't think I could.
And I'll protect you.
I know you. I'll
At least,
burn anyone who tries to take you from me.
at least for a few days, let me look after you. Please.
All right. If you must.
Then back to sleep with you.
And with you.
I'll try.
Not without reluctance. Loran closes his eyes.
Also, takes a bit longer, but he will follow.
The rest of you, what order are you waking up and what are you doing in the coming morning?
I don't know about order. I don't mind. So if anyone wants to has thoughts that they would want to wake up early or last, I'm
When Louis wakes up, if Cass is awake, she'll be like, uh, Sarah's thought it might be a good idea to have like a little picnic kind of thing. Oh, you were there. You were there. Never, wait. Yes, you were there. Sorry.
Louis, you wake up
I
slightly
think it tracks. Yeah, and I think it tracks that Blue wakes up and thinks Cass is awake because maybe like the things have slipped down and the eyes there are open, but Cass is like, wait, what?
Bluey, you continue talking until you realise that those eyes are suspiciously low on Cass's face, and you're like, ah!
Oh,
And then
sorry.
you're like, you instinctively like turn away from her to kind of like, you know, put that sight out of your mind. And then as you turn, you face the room, and you see the towel which you dried yourself off on last night is actually one of Zarina's tapestries, just covered in mud over this woodland scene of like this beautiful nymph bathing. She's like naked, all of her hair is just like pulled around her waist. Zarina seems to be in the picture also.
Rita's very sapphic.
Yes.
I think Cass would wake up at this point and like immediately be like, and like cover up her new eyes. Be like, sorry about that, Bluey. What were you saying about a picnic?
I'll tell you later. Can you fix that? Or
Oh, don't worry. I have magic. Cass says with like a little bit too much force, as if she's trying to tell someone that she still has magic. And then she molds earth, and I'm assuming as it's mud, if I mold
Sure.
earth, you can move dirt.
Yeah.
Will you allow it?
I will stretch my imagination because that is fun. But there will be there could perhaps be a slight residue that you might not get, but from your point of view, it looks very clean.
yeah, I shouldn't. I mean, is there something dry to like brush it with? But I don't want to mess it up. But Zarina's very powerful, and
I mean, I've got most of the mud off. I think anything left, you need to wait until it's completely dry. Because if you brush it while it's still a bit damp, you're just gonna smear it.
yeah. I mean,
Once it's done, maybe you beat it with like a stick.
all right, and the stick should be dry too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Blue, you reckon you could hang it over the edge of the paddock and like get a stick and whack it that way if you
No.
wish to?
That might be a task. Or if it's early enough,
Go on.
she's gonna do that, and then she'll focus on picnic. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you head outside.
I do a
tapestry in
perception
arms.
check to see if it's like, is it wet outside? So is it raining or is it stopped raining?
Sure. I make perception. Make a perception.
Hello as well. Ew.
Sure.
Oh wow! I caught my dice as it flew off my desk. Oh, don't worry, it's a 9.
A 9.
13.
30. So, looking out, you can see that at least for now, the rain has come to a halt, and it appears to be a fairly warm, bright morning in the Feywild. The dusk has fallen, which means the sky is a sort of like light amber hue, getting brighter as it goes to the center, with only a ring of night just surrounding the horizon, just like cresting the tops of the trees. Bluey, you head outside and you hang the tapestry over the edge of the fence and you find a stick. What kind of stick are you looking for?
Dirty ones. um.
Make me an investigation check. You're looking for a clean stick.
18. Okay.
Oh, okay. Mm. Even better than a clean stick. You find a wooden-handled bamboo broom with thick bristles on the end in a fan shape, which you think would work magic if you whacked it against the side, as Cass suggested. So you start whacking the thing. Make me just a strength check, just to make sure that you can keep yourself, calm and decisive with your movements.
That is 25.
25. Whack! 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 You realise the bristles of the broom just kind of bend slightly and snap half off. Maybe a bit too strong. There is nothing necessarily damaging the thing, but you think a light whacking would be preferable.
Is the tapestry okay?
Seems so. Do you go for more?
Doesn't know her own strength.
Oh, poor baby. You go for more?
Is there a way I can try and whack it softer?
You softly whack the tapestry. Now that you know your limits,
Oh,
I think this is possible.
I'll try and
as
whack the bristles back the other way.
Okay,
Just gently.
you flip the thing around, you start whacking. And as you're doing this, that happens for a little while, you just hear from behind you, "Why are you using my artwork to fix this broom?" And you turn around, and standing in the remnant of a glowing teleportation spell as it fizzles away, you just see hair pulled very severely back in a way that you're not used to seeing, wearing leather armor, and only the sleeves of her usual billowing clothes are sheer and visible. Zarina. Her eyes look a little sore, a little cold, but her mouth is playful.
Hi, Serena.
Hello.
Okay, so it was raining last night.
I can see.
And I attempted to have a just expend a bit of energy, and I fell, and I was covered in mud, and I went into the room that Cass had
I'm sure
to
you did.
sleep in, and before I went to sleep, I thought I reached out for a towel, but then it wasn't.
Usually we paint on canvas, Bluey, but well, you are quite the artist, I can see. Do not worry. That's a fairly old one. All right, I can see you're quivering in your boots. Calm down. I'll leave you to it. If you break it, I can fix. Now, please do point me in the direction of my son.
Okay, so his mansion, Leander put his mansion up,
Wonderful.
and
She
I think he's
leans
still
in,
in
gives
there.
you a kiss on the cheek, and then heads into the building.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Anyone else who is awake at this moment, you just hear the doorway slam open. No announcement, no calling out of who it might be. You just hear low heels clacking across the ground, directly towards the entrance of the mansion. Who else is awake, and where are you abouts in the house at this point?
I'd never probably wake up to the slam.
Okay. You can head out onto the landing, and you see that Saraza was already standing by the stairwell and just looking down. You come to his side, and you just see Zarina. And anyone else who comes out would also see her. And she doesn't spare you a second glance as she heads towards the mansion door. Ulster, you're awoken by the sound of yet another door opening. Boom. As
He
Zarina
immediately
stands
covers Loran.
in the doorway. Up. Look at my boys. Ulster, come here.
He kind of moves to help Loran with him because he doesn't want to leave him.
Zarina, realizing what's happening, just holds up a hand. Actually, I'll come to you. And she crosses the room.
That would be wise.
And she's... What did you say?
That would be wise.
I can tell. I am many things, and wise is one of those things, as well as charismatic and inspiring. Now, Ulster, if you don't mind, I am about to perform an incredibly complicated magic. Okay? Prepare yourself accordingly.
Okay.
And she takes your hands, and she puts them on her shoulders, and she holds your face, and she gives you a kiss on the forehead, and pulls you into a hug. It's not your fault. And you've done everything you can for my son. And I still love you. And that has never changed. Not for a moment.
He kind of tentatively reaches up to hug her back. You know, like that gif of the little chipmunk thing? He's like,
She just holds you as if you were her own against her.
did you want to check on him? He's
He's sleeping. You can tell. Loran is still.
I can I can heal anything that's left, I think.
My sweetness. I believe it would be wise if you used what you had left on yourself. There's more to heal than just the body.
Loran comes first.
I will not hear that.
He doesn't look like he's willing to argue about that.
I'll stare if anything happened to you. It would break us.
I don't intend to leave him.
Good. And she just brushes your hair out of your face.
But there's more I can do. Also has a spell slots back, right?
Yep.
Good stuff. Also is going to sit down by Loran, put his hands on his chest, and he's going to cast an 8th level heal on him.
Serena just holds you as you do. And you see Loran's chest just breathe deeply. And the exhaustion lines are gone from his face, and you see he is as he was before. If not more vibrant. Slia.
That was just a reminder that he did get a 7th level heal the previous day as well.
Yeah, just this little bit for flavor, because there's nothing left nothing left physically. And Loran opens his eyes again and he just says, right. Am I getting no privacy from now on ever again?
Never again.
Never again. Right. I will adjust accordingly. All of my expectations. Hello, Mother. I bet you are pleased to leave the city. Oh, and she just kind of leans forward and she just presses her head against his chest. Ah, I am being shown affection. Why
Also
do I
pinches
suddenly...
his nose. Stop being silly.
I'm alright, Mother. And Zarina just nods silently. She sits back up. So, I assume you were successful in whatever quest it was again? Sorry, there's a lot going through my mind.
I assume so. I don't. You'd have to ask the others, I think, for a full rundown.
Ulster, Loran, have either of you set foot outside of this room since you arrived?
Oh, I quite like it in here.
Come along. And Zarina stands up, holding your hand.
Is Loran okay to?
Are you not moving until Loran moves?
He kind of sticks to him like a large limpet.
Initially, Loran stands up and moves with you to the edge of the room. And as you kind of cross the threshold, Ulster, just before Loran does, he just stops quite jerkingly. Why don't we stay? I mean, I can make us anything we need in here.
I mean, that's fair if you would stay.
Yeah, I think that's best, actually. Mother, why don't you bring the others in here and we can spend the day by the door.
Can I insight check Loran?
Ulster can bloom us a garden. You may, yes.
Oh. 30.
30, that's remarkably good. Now, a detail which I neglected to mention, but I probably should have, with all of the Dehanes in this time is that they look a lot more animalistic than you usually see them. Sarazer's eyes were glowing like a feline's in the night, as were Leander's, Bluey, when you were speaking with him. When Zarina arrived, you could tell her nails were sharper than they should be. And looking at Loran, He appears to be shifted the most of all, standing just ever so slightly taller, his shoulders sharper.
He
his
finally
fingers,
made like
nails.
6 foot.
Not quite, no.
Not quite. He's just a couple
no.
millimeters off.
No. He
Never
can
quite.
never be 6 foot. That would be too
No.
much power.
Unless he puts heels on.
There, he's wearing heels. No. His teeth are sharp and his eyes are sharp. And you know that to mean that they are experiencing emotions on their base, most primal level. And with a 30, for fear or some other kind of emotion, Loran is refusing to leave this room.
I think Ulster just takes Loran's face between his hands and leans up and gives him a kiss. And he just nods. Okay.
I'll sit. You know what? Fun. I have a fun game we can play. Loran sits on the floor, on the threshold, looking out into the Dehane estate. Beautiful. It's wonderful here.
This is your game.
The game is called Sitting Down and Not Leaving This Place. Perfect.
If you don't want to, I won't make you.
Serena looks a little bit less convinced, but nods. Right. Well, I'll go get the other. Perhaps you can make a plan for the day.
Ulster's just shifted to sit like kind of in Loran's lap, but not putting any weight on him. He's just like got his hands on his knees.
Wonderful. I love you, Mother. Thank you. You see, you don't hear that often, but I'm saying it because it's true. And she just smiles. And are you, Loran? Everyone, you hear footsteps heading up, and those of you who came out onto the landing earlier, you would see a slightly tired-looking Zarina just approach you all and say, "I apologize for my lateness. I think you can understand that there were certain things that are hard to get away from, but there is one thing that is more urgent than anything. Could not stay away."
Morning.
Good morning, yes. How do you fare? Tell me, how was hell?
Louis not here, right?
No, you'd still be outside. Until you choose to come in.
Who else is here?
You, Sarza, Slayer.
I'd say Cass is.
Leah actually slept in a little bit later than normal.
If she's still sleeping, Cass might make a cup of tea and then go up and take Leah.
There's a moment.
Not necessarily to wake her, but we'll just leave it on the side.
There's a moment when you're all lined up together. Neff, Cass, Sarza, her having already seen Bluey, Ulster, and Loran, where Zarina's eyes kind of like widen and her mouth tightens. Sleia? Where is she?
Sleeping.
Wonderful. I'll go sit with her whilst you brew that tea. Wouldn't want anyone waking up alone.
Okay, insta check that. That is not very high. It is a 12.
A 12! I think you get the impression that Zarina was concerned for Slayer's welfare. That's
Okay.
about as much as you can ascertain.
Okay. I'll help Cass brew the tea.
Brewing tea is a two-person job.
It really can be.
Gotta
The
make it
tea-
perfect for Celia.
The tea is piping hot. Perfect. What flavor is it?
Let's both pick something, and then that's the flavor of the tea.
All right.
Say it at the same time. Are you ready? 3,
Yeah,
2, 1.
Peach.
rose.
Ooh.
Oh!
Ooh, that sounds nice, actually.
You have a rose peach tea with hints of vanilla, and it smells divine, like a romantic garden.
Wow, this smells
I
really,
love a
really divine.
romantic garden.
If
Did
it was
you-
Japan, it would be called like romantic garden.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant aromatic. I was about to say
An aromantic garden. A beautiful kind of garden,
Yes.
which blooms in the face of all beautiful forms of love. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying.
That was nice. I like that.
Thank you. Good, good, good.
We make the tea. And
We
it's
make the
nice.
tea. And then there's a parade as we all take it up to sleep.
Da-da.
So what's funny is, as you guys come down, you don't see anything, but as you guys go back up, you just hear like a hello. And from the doorway of the mansion, you just see, like, sitting there on the cusp, refusing to cross that line, you just see Loran and Ulster. Just like, hi,
Morning.
that smells lovely.
Ulster started growing the moss again.
I
The
think
moss
Cass
is
is
covering
like,
the door.
Cass like looks to Neff and is like, has she got the tea? Can I insight? Does Neff have a good hold of the cup of tea?
Oh, does she have a good hold of it?
she was able to frolic
13.
successfully.
Does Neff have a good hold of the tea?
Am I rolling for that?
Neff, I say you've held tea proficiently before, therefore you can say the answer is yes.
Okay.
Okay.
She's
I
holding it
think
very
as
well.
soon as Cass sees Brian and Loran, she's like gone and is hugging them.
You make your way towards the threshold of the door, and as you like cross over, you do see there is a moment where the moment you sort of like try and step too close, Loran instinctively like pushes Ulster to the side and like holds up a hand and is just like pushes you to the edge.
So
Excuse me.
kind of like takes Loran's hand and lowers it. He's,
It's completely understandable. May I give you both a hug?
I'd quite like a hug.
Loran, if you aren't feeling a hug, we can postpone your hug for feeling more huggable.
Just don't run at me.
Understood. Okay.
And
Cass is
don't-
hugging definitely Brian. I don't know if she's hugging Loran now.
Loran
He's-
seems not to be against the hug, but
Okay.
he's definitely a bit stiffer than usual.
Okay. Cass is hugging them
So-
both tightly.
Ulster's enjoying the hug. In fact,
The
he
hug
kind
is
of
being
burrows down
enjoyed.
into it.
Oh. The hug is being enjoyed by this bizarre throuple. Neff, you are holding the tea for Sleer, and it's wonderful. And Sarasa comes up beside you and just says, let's bring that up then.
Morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Neff. Are you all well? It looks round to the room.
I think
Is there
so.
anything I can do?
You can guard
Next
me
to
while
you.
I deliver this tea.
He looks to Ulster.
I'm sorry.
Just glad to have you back. Always.
I was never really going, I guess.
No.
Not sure what happened there. Bump to the head, maybe.
Sarza just says, "Forgive me for being harsh on you then. It's hard to be the person I've become when I was interacting with someone who knew me at a bad time."
You weren't harsh. You were lovely.
Perhaps my definition of the word has changed. I have tea to take up. If you want some, I can bring it to you.
Can you come here so I can whisper to you? Yeah.
Sarza approaches.
Also, like, gets as far away from Loran as he can get, but still keeps his foot, like, touching Loran's leg. Leans out to Sarah. Loran doesn't want to leave the mansion. Do you think you could come down here after?
Sarza nods and looks to Loran and back to you. Right. Stands up. Come on, Neff. Head upstairs and Sleer, you hear the vague sounds of something like almost whistling beside you. And then there's a plop as someone sits on the bed beside.
She kind of just instinctively like moves her tail so that it doesn't accidentally get like sat upon.
Now I can tell you're awake. Look at me.
She like unfurls.
Hello. Things are going to get a little bit harder before they get better, my love. So answer my questions, if you please. And you see that it's Serena, and she is just like commanding a firecracker almost, whistling around the room. And it's just kind of like occasionally it just kind of like changes into different shapes, into dragons, vines and flowers, and then back into a little firecracker spark. Just for fun, don't worry. It's not a threat. Why did that sound more threatening? I always try to be forthcoming and end up menacing. That's just me. So, I'd almost thought to ask this of the Karadamanyazar girl, but she thinks teeth are bones. So I thought I'd come to you instead. Now, darling, do tell me, how bad was it and what happened?
Very bad.
If it pains you to relive the memory, I can take them away from you after you tell me.
It looked like only two of us were going to make it out. And then because contextually, Slia and Cass didn't actually see everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, piecing together that she knows that Loran and Ulster had the Painite, she knows what kind of magic they're both capable of.
Yep.
And she knows the state with which they came back in.
Mm-hmm.
So it may not be completely accurate to what actually happened, but yeah, as she
came to
perceived
you
it.
for your perception of events.
Yeah. Once Sarazar got there with the rest of the group, Ulster was unconscious and Loran was gone. And everything was collapsing around us in magic that could only have been amplified, and
Pain,
yes,
then.
everything collapsed.
And the purple stone.
I don't
Gone
know
with
what
it.
happened to it. It wasn't, I didn't see it when they came back. We arrived in the mansion, and then the diamond took, and he was awake again. Here.
The contracts.
With Cass.
All of them.
Yes. And we should be expecting Cirilla Rass's door again at some point soon.
I understand. Can't recall if I've ever actually met the dragon.
At the dinner banquet in the Ice Palace.
Ah, yes. That was lovely. Do Ulster's parents know what's happened here?
I thought it best to let them rest. And have you seen him this morning?
Yes, I did.
Does he seem himself again? Oh,
He's not quite there.
he had forgotten the last 8 months. Last night.
Ah, you're talking about Ulster. Yep, okay.
Yeah.
And then Serena would say, he was himself. Do not worry. He'd forgotten 8 months.
Yes.
That must have been incredibly hard on you all.
I think just Sarah and I were the ones to see. But I could be mistaken.
Don't think Loran wouldn't have noticed, even if he was sleeping. Well, as promised, and she raises her hand to your forehead.
No. They're mine. Even the hard ones.
That they are, Starlight. Well then. She stands. Just as the door opens and a parade of disappointment crew enter the room with a single cup of tea as their float hoisted above them. Sarah says, "We have come to present you this tea."
This
Yes,
theory
tell
come to
us what the tea
present.
is. Yes, Cass.
Thank you. It's a bit much.
It's a very small cup of tea.
The effort, I mean.
No, not at all.
She seems like she takes the cup of tea and she just seems really confused as to why like everybody's here instead of like down with like
Cass isn't.
yeah, no, she
She hasn't.
she seems
She hasn't
just
let go of
confused like
Brian and
why
Loran.
Sure.
like Sarazar and like Neff are here with her instead of like down with like Brian and Loran.
I think reading this, Sarah would say, I need a mix of things to get through this. A little comfort. That would be nice for all of us. So take your tea and take your time. And come down when you're ready.
Thank you. So I think my mic cut out, but Celia says thank you.
Neff bows as you take the tea.
Sarah kind of pulls back and says, another thing I might need. It's time alone. So if you don't mind, I think I'll take a ride.
Be safe.
We will be. Nothing can hurt me here. And Saracen leaves the room. Bluey! Go whack! 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 Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Excuse me? That is 18.
Okay.
High
18.
rolls in general, mostly.
As you whack, there's one point where you miss the carpet entirely, you swing around and you hit the edge of the paddock fence. And it's like a jarring feeling up your arms, but instead of being like, oh my god, did I accidentally break it? You're like, that actually felt really good. Like that feeling of hitting something and it landing just felt remarkable. It almost makes you want to do it again. You whack me an attack roll, please.
Okay, well, what do I add for an attack roll with a broken broom? Or
It would just be your strength.
okay, so that's a 10. Yeah.
10. Okay. Whack. And there's like the slightest dent in the fence. Roll it again.
Am I compelled to hit again?
Please roll it again.
Okay. Oh god, no! Oh, that's an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Whack! And this time it's a contest to see which is stronger, the paddock fence or this broom. And you notice the broom just splinter down the center ever so slightly. A crack just runs all the way through it. And there's a deeper dent on the paddock fence. And roll me one more attack.
What is happening? So 22? Jesus
22.
Christ.
Just before it hits, you realize in the haze of everything that Nakia has run towards you. And just is like, don't chase, what are you doing? I put that fence, ow! And you just whack, catching his thumb. And you hear a crack. And he just holds his hand.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh,
And he backs away.
Okay, okay, she puts down the
I think
broom
that's a good idea.
and she is going to run inside, seeking
Nakia in the middle of a paddock with a broken hand.
medical attention. Either Neff or Slayer, whichever I see first. I suspect it would be Neff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neff just at the top of the stairs as you follow Sarazer out after the tea ceremony of sorts.
Healing, help, medical,
Okay.
Nakia.
Neff nods.
To which Sarazer,
She
who
looks at.
also was on his way out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look at Sarazer?
Me.
I'm looking at Nakir.
Oh, I thought you said no. He's outside. So I'm sorry. I thought you said you were about to look at Sarazer, but apologies. Yeah. So you head outside with Bluey, and Sarazer, hearing that, wordlessly heads outside, and you see Nakia is just kind of like sitting against the edge of the fence, looking at his hand mournfully. His bum is just like twisted almost a little.
I touch him on the shoulder.
Ah!
Cure wounds, second level.
Before your eyes, you just see as his thumb just kind of like goes back to places. Ah! Oh, right. Okay, that's actually fine, and I have full movement again. Oh.
And you regain 16 HP if you needed a number.
Ah! I feel more powerful than I ever have been.
I still got like a little bit of ender in him.
A little bit. Tiny.
Just a tiny bit, like a
Sometimes
sprinkle.
I miss Ender.
Oh.
It just looks at you, Bluey, like, what are you doing? What was that?
Well, I was making sure that Serena's artwork didn't have any mud in it, and I thought it was looking pretty good, but I don't think just hitting the fence seemed like a good idea. I don't know why.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I think you're having a really hard time, and I get it. So, I am gonna just walk away, though.
Okay.
Slowly backs away. And Saraza looks at you, Bluey, and just says, why don't you, go to the kitchens and fix picnic food?
Yes. Okay.
I can help with that. I know how to make a mean sandwich.
Can you make a fairly kind sandwich?
Oh, okay, I can try.
Alright, thank you. You go back inside to make your kind sandwiches. Cass, Ulster, Loran, yourselves, sitting in the main floor, sort of entryway of the Dehane estate. All of you carrying still the wounds of hell with you, but you are somewhere safe. And you have a picnic to prepare for, and a dragon to meet. And that is where we will finish up. Yeah. We. Alright. Thank you, guys.
Also, before we finish, I just Cass would have said when she hugged Loran and Brian, but only like them. So only they could hear. Like, I thought I lost you both.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Orsted's very teary. He looks like he's made of just tears at the moment.
Yeah, Cass is also
Me
crying.
too,
She's
boys.
like,
Me too.
This is the last DC in Japan forever.
Yeah! Oh my god!
Oh my
oh my
god.
god!
Oh my god!
That is insane! And it makes me
Next
so
week.
happy.
Next week I will be somewhere in my house in the UK.
You will
And I'll
be
have a
45
pet to show off.
minutes away from me. I'll be like, I
Yeah!
can smell you.
It's gonna be wild.
The incense to the crystals, I'll smell it from here.
Yeah! Alright. So, same time next week. Well, actually earlier next week. And I will see you all then. Let's chow the stream for now. Goodbye!
Checking out.
Goodbye.